Welcome to the final of the Under-15 National Championship Girls final here at Wellington Stadium. My name is Kesler Evans and I'm here commentating the final with Morgan Maskell.
Yeah, it's good to be here, Keslo, and great facilities here. We're at the ASB Stadium, and Wellington Basketball Association's done a really good job hosting this event.
Yep.
It's the 4th year in a row they've had this event, and if we see the players get introduced now, Waikato got through their semi-final opponent against Taranaki. It's a repeat of their semi-final opponent from last year, and of course Waikato are the defending champions of this age group. We see on the other side North Harbour, who played Canterbury in their semi-final yesterday, winning 95-83.
Both teams coming through, both pool players and also crossovers undefeated, putting up average of about 80 points a game. So, you know, definitely a lot of scores going up high in the high region for these two teams. So definitely the two strongest teams here in the finals today.
We're going to see a lot of interesting matchups here as we see the Waikato team list there. We see number 4, Reese Anderson, number 5, Honor Wilson, number 6, Teal King, number 7, Leila Hemi Ta'ala, number 8, their point guard, who was a star player for them in the semi-final and throughout the tournament, Quay Walker Ekatoni, number 9, Acacia Parai, number 10, Kiani Lee, number 11, Hiniarangi Natai, number 12, Tyler Mitchell, number 13, Viani Hetig, and number 15, the dominant big, who had 20 rebounds and 18 points in the semi-final, Dominique Stevens.
And up for North Harbour, they've got number 4, Simone Bernard. We'll just take a quick break. I think they're going to be singing the national anthem. So, yeah, we'll do.
We should have. Did I do?
stirring national anthem there. Sorry for the interruption of our national anthem. So getting back to the Harbour team, number 4, Simone Bernard. Number 5, daughter of famous Dylan Boucher, Mackenzie Boucher. Number 6, Rian Watene. Number 10, Amy Johnson. Number 11, Emmy Shearer. Number 12, Jessica Moores. Number 13, Sintane Noom Duckworth. Number 14, Leilani Robinson. Number 15, Sissy Kailahi Fulu. And number 25, Jasmine Kailahi Fulu, the 2 sisters from the Kailahi Fulu sisters. So there you have our lineups. Morgan, how do you see this one playing out today?
It's going to be a really interesting game. We saw in the semi-finals, Waikato like to play a lot of half-court offense, and the ball really goes through their point guard, Walker Ekitoni, and their big Dominique Stevens. Whereas Harbour love transition. They love transition. Their guards, Emmy Shearer and Jess Moores, combined for 55 points in the semi-final. And they were both shooting over 60%, and that's because you don't see many mid-range jump shots or many three-point shots from them. It's all layups.
Right. Layups
in transition or layups off O boards. Both teams really dominated the rebound count against all their teams due to their dominant bigs, so it'll be interesting to see how these bigs go against players that are probably equal to the challenge.
Yeah, I think that's probably the key point there, Morgan, is like you say, is definitely keeping the opposing team off offensive rebounds. Be interesting to see both teams, how they combat each other, eliminating one another from the offensive rebounds. As you know, second chance points are a real killer from a coaching perspective. So I still think North Harbour have it over them as far as the offensive powers are concerned. Offensive rebounding powers are concerned, but it's going to be an interesting matchup going forward. From a Waikato perspective, they don't really have an outstanding superstar in their team. All very much the same and good and strong. Hopefully going forward they can all put on a good effort. We see an exchange of pleasantries or gifts. This is the first time I've seen something like this. Morgan, you seen anything like this before?
I haven't seen anything like this before a final, but it's definitely great to see. I mean, both teams are showing a great deal of respect for each other, and that's really nice to see. I mean, a lot of these girls will know each other as well a little bit
through the programs. Yep.
Yeah, through the programs, and there are a lot of talented players out here on the floor. Another interesting point to note is that Harbour's weakness seemed to be a defensive transition.
Right.
A lot of their players threw poor passes,
right,
and they really couldn't get back in defensive transition at any great speed, and that's how Canterbury stayed in the game for so long in the semi-final.
They're going to have to really look at that, because this Waikato team can really push out. They've got a lot of fast, quick, athletic young girls who get out in transition and can make tough layups on the break. So Harbour will really need to keep that in check, as well as Waikato will probably need to ensure that their interior defense doesn't just rely on Dominique Stevens. She's a strong interior presence, Dom, but she needs some help and assistance down there.
She sure does. I mean, especially going up against Jazz Kalahi-Fulu, who's proved to be a bit of a beast and dominating the inside in her own right there. Another interesting point, at this stage of the tournament, we're in a national final. These teams have played 6 games in 3 days before this. Coaches will have looked at the opposition a lot, and we'll look to see some adjustments be made from each team. And Coach Tyler Wilkinson is an incredibly experienced coach for Waikato, won multiple national championships. So it'll be interesting to see what she does to combat Harbour's transition offense superstars Emmy Shearer and Jess Moores.
As we get up to almost tip-off time, our starters are on the court at the moment, ready to go in this final National Under-15 Championship Basketball New Zealand live stream here in Wellington ASB Stadium, and we're off. And Waikato have the ball, starting off Cam Leith.
And right there, you see the length of the Harbour guards there. I mean, Emmy Shearer is number 11, number 12 Jess Moores, and they're bigger than all of the Waikato guards and longer as well. And despite the Waikato guards' experience and speed, they've probably never faced guards this talented that are this big before.
There's Ta'ala.
Saw Waikato take a lot of threes in their semi-final as well, especially when Dominique Stevens wasn't available. So they're very confident in their shot.
Yeah, Hemi Ta'ala is probably their top shooter at three-point range, as Walker Ekitone goes to the hole for the first bucket of the game.
Waikato coming out with extended pressure, full court man-to-man, and Harbour having real trouble getting it in. they managed to get it in eventually, and Boucher gets full court for the layup, and Coach Wilkinson can't be happy with that initial start, but the pressure.
One of the golden rules is never let anyone behind you in a full court press, so they're going to have to remedy that if they're going to make it effective going forward.
Absolutely, and you see Waikato getting into their offense, Walker Katone just getting it into Stevens in the high post, and that's how they look to initiate a lot of their offense all tournament long, and unfortunately Harbour get a steal off that. So Shearer's off to Moores and straight back to Shearer, and Shearer with a nice hard drive and an early foul.
On Leith.
We saw a lot of that in the semi-finals. We all noted how Harbour really only played with 3 players on offense. You see Moores getting it to Shearer, and Shearer just going a hard drive, and she really punished Taranaki to the tune of 33 points.
Wow.
Drives and layups, offensive rebounds and free throws.
Yes. So Kearney Leith bringing the ball up here, back out and getting out into their sets quite quickly. It's one of the things at this age group, as far as the offensive sets are concerned, they do take a lot of time off the clock. Physical play there.
No call there, and Coach Wilkinson is not happy with that call, as the Kalahi sisters sandwich Stevens, perhaps foreshadowing what might happen in the rest of the match.
Yeah, that Dominic's really going to have to strengthen up there in order to battle with those strong Kalahi Fulu sisters.
I like that from Harbour, intentional or not. It's just sending a strong message that you cannot get in our key. And really early in the match, that's a great message to send. And Dominique may be thinking twice before driving that hard into the key again.
Boucher for 3. Miss.
Boucher's putting up a lot of shots early, and she didn't get that opportunity in the semi-final, and it would be good for Harbour to throw varied looks at Waikato, which they may not expect.
So hopefully expanding their game, so from a scouting perspective, they may throw some different looks at them. Walker Katone attacks Boucher.
That's a very tough shot.
It is. Boucher is one of the shorter players out there for Harbour. Very long team.
Yeah, we see their point guard, Emmy Shearer, and that's miscommunication with Harbour, throws it right out of bounds.
Both teams probably seem a little bit jittery at the start. Need to probably settle down going into the 3 minutes into the first quarter. Settle down, get into their sets, get a couple of buckets underway, and then they should settle in quite nicely. Yeah,
finals, they're a whole new thing. We're on one court only.
Yep.
There's big stands out. We've had a national anthem. Players have been introduced. It's just a whole nother atmosphere for the players to get used to.
There we go again. Stevens from the high post set coming down and trying to dribble penetrate all the way through to the middle, which has been effective throughout the game, throughout the tournament. But against these Kailahi Fulu sisters, it's going to be tough. Rebound there by Harbour.
Yeah, and we see Kalahi Fulu with the ability to just get a rebound and go out and transition on her own.
Yes.
And she got quite a few transition coast-to-coast layups yesterday, really showcasing her talent.
Right.
And we see Shearer with a wing on ball, and Kalahi Fulu open for that layup, and that's a play they're going to need to stop. Harbour loves that wing pick and roll with either Shearer or Moores, and Kalahi Fulu setting that screen and rolling hard to the rim.
Very good talent to be learning at this age group as the screen and roll for the Kalahi Fulu. If she can continue to do that going on in her career as a basketballer, she's really going to be valuable to anyone. Foul being called there on 25, Kalahi Fulu. Just reaching over the top, trying to negate some of Stevens' play as she gets the ball down into the post. And
it's a really unnecessary foul because she needs to know how important she is to the team. And we saw every time one of Harbour's big three got into foul trouble yesterday, they really suffered on the floor. And she doesn't need to reach over the top. She just needs to do work getting into better position off the ball.
Leith with a shot again.
Waikato really having trouble getting into Harbour's key though right now.
Yeah, putting a lot of pressure on themselves actually, to be honest with you. It's Boucher with a shot. And there's that offensive rebounds we were talking about at the start of the game, Morgan. You're going to have to negate that if they really want to stay competitive in this game.
And that's the thing right there. And Harbour with an early advantage now, 6-2, with Moores and Shearer, even though they're guards, they are just as long as most of the bigs in this tournament, and they're super athletic, so they often get double-digit rebounds themselves.
Tyler Mitchell with a shot. And one.
That's a huge play for them. You know, you don't want to get too much into a hole too early in a final. And that might help ease the nerves as we're almost halfway through this quarter. 6-4 and the chance to make it a one-point game as we have a foul on Sissy Kalahi Fulu, number 15.
Mitchell comes to the line to finish off her and one. and she makes it. Waikato still staying in this extended pressures defense here with with Shearer bringing the ball up, setting up into their sets, looking for a screen here from Kalahi Fulu. Nice step through and quick hands there by Walker Ekitone, and Leith is off to the races trying to split the double team, and she draws the foul.
And Sissy Kalahi Fulu not happy with that call, but she was definitely not in great guarding position. And that's a great play from Waikato, because that could have been a layup for Emi Shearer down there. She just carved through that paint, but quick hands very important. And the starting power forward for Harbour, Sissy Kalahi Fulu, will sit down on the bench with 2 fouls.
2 fouls early in the first quarter is not a good look for her. Probably will sit for the majority of this first half to ensure that she doesn't pick up a third.
We see the entrance of number 14, Leilani Robertson, into the game now, and she'll have big shoes to fill. She must keep locking down the paint, which has been so hard for Waikato to get into.
Cardinal sin there, letting as Moores goes to the hole.
And that's easy as you like, and that's what we've seen all tournament from Harbour. Transition offense just gets right into the key, and a very simple right-hand layup for the athletic Moores.
As Hemi Ta'ala drives baseline, tries to go through reverse. Tough shot underneath the basket. She really needs to probably set it up. Shearer pushing the ball down the court.
Really need to stop the ball better.
They do. Boucher takes a shot. Kalahi Fulu gets the rebound.
You have to say right now, Harbour's looking very good. They're getting out in transition, and even when they're missing their shots, whether it's in transition or half-court offense, they're getting their own offensive rebound.
Shearer.
And we see that again.
Another rebound. Unlucky there. Number 14 from Harbour.
Coach Millie Nathan asking for that foul call, but no call from the refs there. And we see Waikato getting into their half-court offense that they like to run.
Hemi Ta'ala with the ball at the corner. Reversing over to Leith. Looking inside for Dominic. He's really letting the shot clock get down low.
Jazz Kalahi Fulu, and that's a great shot there from Leith. Jazz Kalahi Fulu's doing a great job denying the entry into the high post.
Yeah.
For Dominic Stevens, which is how Waikato likes to run their offense. So right now we're seeing Harbour doing exactly what they want, transition offense and offensive rebounds.
They get out push, Kalahi in the corner.
Waikato's looking quite uncomfortable. They're not able to do what they usually do right now, and they're going to need to find a way to rectify that.
Walker Ekitone out front, setting up their sets with a cross screen in there to Stevens, with Hemi Ta'ala at the top. Just short. They're not shy to keep putting up those shots, though, Morgan. It may come down to those at the end, but right now they're just not falling.
Yeah, we really saw a lot of that from Waikato throughout the tournament as well. I mean, they like to run their offense through Dominic Stevens, and that creates space for their guards on the outside to shoot. And their guards really aren't shy, and you have to say that's probably part of Coach Wilkinson's game plan for them, as Coach Wilkinson looks to call an early timeout.
Walker Ekitone being called there for the foul. She's got very good hands and has the ability to make some good, strong steals, but at the moment she gets called for an early foul. Score 8-7 and with 3 minutes 49 to go in the first quarter. Morgan, how are you seeing it swaying? It's quite ugly offensively.
It's very cagey so far. You see Waikato shooting 3 of 13, 23%, and Harbour shooting 4 of 11, 36%. So, I mean, possibly shots they would normally make, not quite making, not quite dropping for them, and we're seeing Waikato not being able to run their sets like they usually do. But this was the case in the semi-final yesterday as well. They were down 5-0 early to Taranaki, and it took them a good 4 or 5 minutes to even score the ball. But again, we saw Coach Wilkinson with an early timeout in that game and really got her troops going after that. They went on quite a run. And it'll be interesting to see out of the timeout what Wilkinson's looking to rectify. If you're Coach Wilkinson or Coach Nathan for Harbour, what are you thinking that you would say to the troops right now?
For Coach Nathan, I would probably look at getting, Shearer and Moores to get putting more pressure defensively on the Waikato guards. Challenging them to play some straight-up man-to-man D. For Coach Wilkinson, I think that it's probably the reverse. That she probably does need their guards to start being a bit more aggressive, but also looking for the pass as opposed to taking these contested long shots which keep going up. But in all, I think it's only the final crowd, 3 minutes. They're settling in quite nicely.
Yeah, I mean, a big key is going to be stopping Harbour in transition. Very simple baseline play there. They get a great post-up look for Kalei Fulu. She just misses, though. And Waikato going at the floor. And transition defense, one of the weaknesses for Harbour we've seen throughout the tournament.
And
so
Hemi Ta'ala makes a shot.
Waikato gets them the first lead of the game with a transition offense bucket. And Waikato may have to look to push the pace to see if they can get transition offense going for them while taking away Harbour's transition look. Emi Shearer driving so hard into the key. No calls from the ref. Bodies on the floor. And it's great to see the commitment and hustle from the girls. Moores puts up a long shot there, and we haven't seen that a lot from her in the tournament. And Kalei Fulu, that'll be
with a foul.
Second foul. And they can't afford for her to be in foul trouble, and you'd have to say Coach Wilkinson will be happy with that, and Dominique Stephens probably going to be happy with that.
Well, it's, I mean, the Kalei Fulu sisters really are an integral part for this team, and with them out, it's going to be tough.
I mean, the two starting bigs for Harbour now going to have to come out of the game as we see Coach Nathan look to a bench, and we see number 10, Leaf with a great basket there. We see number 10, Amy Johnson, prepare to enter the game for the first time, presumably for number 25, Kalei Fulu, as she's on 2 fouls. Great transition look from Moores. Gets her own rebound.
Yeah.
And Waikato's going to need to really find a way to stop that. Transition offense and offensive rebounding. You can take Harbour out of that, and you might really make them look uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, there's that cross baseline screen, and good defense there by Tyler Mitchell, but it's great defense there by Tyler Mitchell, but that baseline cross screen, Harbour had Kalei Fulu open early, and they just didn't look inside, but that cross screen, they're really going to figure out whether or not they switch or what they do in order to negate those options down low.
Yeah, they sure are. They're going to just... You can't win a final if you take nothing away from the other team, and they're going to have to really look to take something away. But both teams, and you see Waikato get into their offense nicely there.
Jump ball, position arrow to Harbour.
And then Moore's just flung Leaf to the ground like a rag doll just then.
She did. Leaf's a tough girl, though, coming from a family of the father and her mother was a representative netball player in her like, and her father definitely spends a lot of time in the fitness sector, so she's pretty fit and strong herself. Foul there going up for the shot was Shearer, and the foul goes on
Hemi Ta'ala, it's on.
Number 7, Hemi Ta'ala.
Emi Shearer, I mean, again, nice hard drive, misses, but offensive rebound, and as a result of the lack of defensive rebounding from Waikato right now, Harbour securing some more points at the free throw line.
Yeah, she stays with it even when she takes, not the best shot. She stays with everything and keeps herself amongst it and in the play, and it's always good to have players like that. Good rebound there by Tyler Mitchell with Dom getting a tip to it. Walker Gatone brings it up the floor. Finds some sort of gap between Boucher and Shearer.
That's so crafty. And I got to wonder right now, looking at that, if Coach Wilkinson has identified the transition off defense weakness of Harbour, because they're looking to get out and run a bit more, whereas Waikato's bread and butter's sort of been in that situation. Bring it out, run your half-court offense in the past.
Yeah, Walker Gatone is very strong in the open court as far as a ball handler is concerned. She's young and played considerable minutes last year for her high school Hamilton girls at the National Secondary School Final. So she has a lot of experience, and she's going to have to glean on that to get her through for the rest of this game. And
she's a really young player now, as we see number 6, Teal King, come into the game for the first time for Kiani Leith. But Walker Gatone, her battle yesterday in the semi-final against New Zealand under-16 point guard Caitlin O'Connell for Taranaki, that was great. It's probably the 2 best point guards in the tournament, really going head-to-head, and she really held her own, proved herself to be one of the best point guards in the country, as she's doing here today.
As Tyler Mitchell tries to go for gamble on the steal and earns herself a foul.
I mean, if you can't be too unhappy with that if you're Coach Wilkinson. If she gets that, that's transition offense again for Waikato, which has proven to get them a few points.
As Bernard subs in for Boucher, they run the out-of-bounds plays. Moores and Bernard gets the ball at the top of the key.
Barnard looks to drive and loses the handle, but almost puts it in.
That was a nice go. 4 to her left, and number 14, Robinson, unfortunately just lost the handle of that ball and left it out of bounds.
Yeah, right now a lot on the shoulders of Emi Shearer and Jess Moores as the Kalei Fulu sisters are out and Boucher's now off the floor. We see Shearer just showing her versatility, grabs a defensive rebound,
Risky pass. Risky pass.
just flings a full court pass to Jess Moores. Who else would she look for?
Yeah, well, exactly. Oh!
Oh!
Heavy contact.
That's just two players going hard, going for the ball, and she is hurt. And that's something you hate to see in a final, and she is...
As Coach Nathan comes on the court, and she steps on the court, she needs to get off there.
Looks like something she can walk off, just a really hard bump, and that's tough. Just get up and keep going. The Westlake Girls High product. And she's wiping tears away from her eyes, preparing to play defense right now. You got to admire that.
So they're getting into their sets now to their high, coming off the dribble. Nice step through again.
Oh, that's
Shearer,
an athletic
length
block.
Yeah, that length is just proving really difficult.
Great offense, better defense just then. And Waikato stick with it, though. And that's
tough call, I thought that was.
Perhaps unlucky, but...
On number 12, on Moores there, I mean, unfortunately, I thought that was a good clean block. Tyler Mitchell got herself into a bit of a pickle with 3 people around her, but she was able to draw the foul and now goes to the line for 2.
Harbour coaches nervously look down the score benches. They signal only 1 foul for Moores, and they won't look to sub her out. They need her on the floor right now.
Oh, definitely.
She can't afford to pick up a second foul in the next few minutes of gameplay. You see
Early.
Robertson coming really early as Mitchell just bangs it in. A curious sequence of play.
Yes.
Johnson struggling to get it in, manages to find Shearer.
Her length is so strong for her. But Walker Ekitone playing some great defense on her as she goes up for that nice little mid-range floater and it goes in.
They have to be prepared for Shearer and Moores to drive past their players. And I like that they seem to trust their teammates to stay in front, but they need to step up and help. These layups are just far too easy for them right now.
Robinson lets Stevens go to her right.
You see, Stevens really hasn't got into the game yet. She's her first shot, and she's still got 6 rebounds though, but she really needs to get on the scoreboard. She's one of their main scorers. Especially with the Kalahifulu sisters out, I think Waikato need to look to take advantage of that.
Oh, they definitely do.
So you see Shearer with another hard drive.
Difficult.
Gets her own offensive rebound, man.
Well, she stays with it every time, Morgan, and it's really good from a young basketballist to really learn to stay with his shot. There's a lot of basketballers these days who like to admire their shots, but they need to really stay with it as Walker Ekitone.
And the buzzer for the quarter goes just before that shot, but I mean, Walker Ekitone, rather than running a half-court offense, she's always looking for that transition offense right now.
Well, it's putting Harbour under pressure. They're struggling to get back. Their 2 big superstars in the back there are in some deep foul trouble, and so the other ones that are filling from the bench are struggling to get back in transition. So, you know, it's an option that going forward for Waikato they really need to probably exploit. It's given them a 4-point lead going into the second quarter. Both teams, Waikato especially, playing their starters big minutes, making little or 1 sub for King for Ta'ala, but otherwise it's basically their starting group staying in there the whole time.
Yeah, we saw Dominic Stevens and Quay Walker Ekitone play big minutes in the semi-final, and you'd have to assume it's going to be the same here. They really need them out on the floor.
Well, it's the final, Morgan. There's nothing else left.
There's nothing after this. They're probably going to play 40 minutes, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and hey, you know, they've for in Waikato's sake, they've been selected. That started in November last year was their first trial, so it's been an over almost 7-month process for them. Throughout Easter tournament and regionals, and probably similar to Harbour and their tournaments and during the Easter period. So, you know, it's been 6 months of long, hard slog, and for the coaches volunteering and putting their time and efforts in, this is culminating in an opportunity to win a national title.
Yeah, did Waikato go through all their leagues undefeated this year?
Yes, they did.
And likewise for Harbour. So neither team has tasted defeat this year.
They have not.
So it's going to be a great battle here. Both teams that only know how to win, but one has to lose. It is a national final, and yeah, really see Harbour only shooting 26% right now, and Waikato also shooting 26%. Both teams are 5 of 19.
Wow.
So not a lot of makes early on, and not that high scoring, but we'll probably see the teams really find some flow.
As we see some substitution with Honor Wilson on for Teal King in the matchup here. Honor's a Waikato girl from Huntley School. Rākau Mangamanga, kura kaupapa Māori. They're making that switch action on those back screens, and there's that cross screen again down low, which is going to cause them problems if they don't sort it out down there. Waikato with Ngātai and Wilson getting caught up on that cross screen, and then Robinson getting an open shot to the hole.
Yeah, so tough for Waikato right now on those low post plays, because Harbour has 4 of the 5 tallest players on the floor right now. Other than Dominique Stevens, all of their players are bigger, and they're just grabbing boards. They're able to finish through contact, and they're going to need to find a way to negate that play as much as they can and try and force Harbour to score a little from the outside. As we see, Moores get an O board from that, so the 2 free throws don't matter, and Moores just puts it in.
Hey, you got to stop those O boards. I mean, Moores and Shearer are going to get to the boards every single time because everyone's worrying about the Kailahi Fulus, and so they need to ensure that they're limiting those options as Waikato makes that outside jumper and goes straight in. Very nice shot.
And we see that full court extended pressure again, and Boucher having some trouble getting the ball in. And Shearer with an errant pass, and Boucher can't save it, unfortunately, and that's something that Waikato is really going to look to keep doing.
Well, it just shows, you know, any pressure put on, and regardless of your experience, is tough to push through. So Harbour and Shearer and Moores really probably need to come back in together so they can get the ball over that extended pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I would even look to have one of them inbound the ball. I mean, they're struggling to inbound the ball, and their size, they can probably see over their opposite.
Agree.
You see Jazz Kalahifulu back in the game on 2 fouls. It speaks to Harbour's depth and how much talent Kalahifulu has, and Shearer with
another beautiful and gorgeous running jumper in the lane.
Yeah, she's really expanded her game this year. She's year 10 at Westlake Girls High School, and she's really done well, come on in strides on their senior team this year, and we saw her in 33 points in the semi-final yesterday as Walker Ekatone takes another jump shot.
And I think Harbour got away with one
there.
there.
Yeah, it looked to be off Boucher.
Yeah, it did look to be off Boucher, but that's fine. It's the referee's call, and we just move on. So Harbour doing well. I mean, with Shearer putting up the numbers she's putting up, they're going to stay competitive. But if Waikato find a way to slow her down, she's going to have to find
Moore's fumbling over the ball there.
Boucher with the ball at the top. Moore's returning up to Kalahifulu with that back screen, and then the cross screen again. Didn't even look. She was wide open.
Just running through the motions of their play. There was a back screen set for her as part of their play, but they don't often look to get it.
Shearer was wide open, all she was looking to do was screen, but that's fine.
Hey, you see that sometimes in under 15 basketball. You see Harbour with their sagging, packing the paint offense there. Really not looking to put extended pressure on the ball. We see Shearer protesting her innocence there, and perhaps hard done by, but a hard drive by Walker Ekatone gets rewarded with a foul.
Yeah, if you put yourself in a position, you may get the calls. If you never put yourself there, you won't get them. So, I mean, may have been a tough call, agree, but you know, Walker Ekatone's being aggressive, going to the hole, and good things happen to people who are trying to do positive things.
Exactly, and you see in Quay, Walker Ekatone does a lot of positive things, so good things will keep coming her way. We see Jess Moores sitting down on the bench now. She's only on 1 foul.
Yeah, maybe she needs a quick blow and, you know, get her back in towards the middle of the second quarter.
And so that sees the introduction of number 13, Sontaine Noon Duckworth.
What's her background there, Morgan? She's from a...
she's just an athlete. She plays a lot of sports. It's her first year at Rangitoto College this year. And she plays a lot of sports. She's played water polo. She's a karate champion. I believe she's still playing netball as well. And she's just a raw athlete. And she'll come in, and you see the size of her.
Yeah.
You know, Harbour's just got some long athletes coming off the bench, and that length might really trouble Waikato potentially.
There's that back screen action again, and Tyler Mitchell getting caught every single time. She needs to really figure out what she's going to do on that cross screen so that she's not getting caught every time.
Corner trap here.
Yep.
And Leilani Robertson really having some trouble finishing there, but the offense is really working for Harbour right now. They're getting the shots they want.
Oh, they're getting wide open shots. And even on that back cut there, on the back screen, she was wide open again. And if the passer at the top had a look, Kalahifulu had a look, then she would have seen in there. As Boucher goes to the hole for that shot, and Kalahifulu gets a strong rebound over Stevens, and Stevens scores a foul.
And you see the entrance of Jazz Kalahifulu back in the game, and it's instantly a different Harbour team. Stevens is having a bit of trouble, and she's really met her match, and we see these two were the most dominant bigs all the way through the tournament.
They definitely are, and I mean, Stevens having now to come out to accommodate for
1 foul for her, but perhaps a rest.
Yeah, it's a quick quick rest for her to get back in.
Risky with Jazz Kalahifulu on the floor. I mean, Tyler Mitchell, number 12, is really going to have to step up now on Jazz Kalahifulu, because that's a potential mismatch.
It's a lot of responsibility on Ngatai, who's probably the biggest player in the Waikato team at the moment, to secure those defensive rebounds. So it's going to cause a lot of, and she's a strong girl there. She shows just right there, getting that rebound. So it's going to put a lot of pressure on her to ensure that she's.
That's exactly what you were saying about Waikato before the game as well. And she hasn't played yet, and she's just come on 13 minutes into the match, and just a strong rebound, gets her elbows out and won't let anyone take that off her. It's really great to see.
As Leith goes to the dribble penetration again, squeezes a gap.
Oh, and luckily,
goes on the floor.
Ngatai doesn't get the handle on it, but great commitment diving on the floor, and you can see the Waikato girls really want it.
They do, and it's always good to see as Hemi Ta'ala comes in for Ngatai now, and they're even going even smaller, which is a Golden State small ball we see.
Oh, and there you go, catch and shoot. They really are running their Golden State recipe right now.
Yeah,
and she's looking for another shot there.
She gets it up, and Shera gets the ball, and she pushes out.
Shera's away. They're really going to have to stop the ball as
she looks to trouble with her hands.
Tyler Mitchell, quick hands. That's a great read. And
that is a really great read there defensively.
No one telling Kalahifulu there's someone behind her. Is a great drive from Leith again.
A lot of these shots are just really coming off the front of the rim and not just.
Shera in transition. They need to stop her in transition right now. And
Walker Ekitone picks up her second foul.
That'll be tough for her. She can't afford to be in foul trouble there.
No, she can't. They have some capable people in King and Ta'ala. Hemi Ta'ala bringing up the ball, but she's definitely important. Oh, as they turn the ball over, Kalahifulu with a errant pass back to Shera, or it was meant to be more Shera, and it just went right over the top of her head.
Yeah, and that's something Harbour's going to have to clean up. And we saw if any of their game is a weakness, it's their passing decisions and then their transition defense. And if Waikato does take advantage of that, Harbour will be made to pay quite a high price.
As Hemi Ta'ala looks for three, and she's short, but they get an offensive rebound.
It's Waikato with the offensive rebounds right now as Boucher falls to the ground, and Shera's out in transition. And
Walker Ekitone picks up her third foul, which is costly for the Waikato team.
And they can't afford to have Walker Ekitone and Stevens on the bench. And there you go, Coach Wilkinson says to Dominique Stevens, we need you back out on the floor because we can't have Quay Walker Ekitone out there for the next 5 minutes 53.
Oh, and she subs in Wilson.
Oh.
And leaves Walker Ekitone out there, which is a risk from Coach Wilkinson. But, huge risks, huge rewards. And, great hands there by Leith. I was unsure whether or not she was the one that tipped the ball, and maybe when Morse came back to help, she headed out off her. I'm not sure.
And we're seeing Harbour's turnovers really come back to bite them now, as they're really not able to get anything going offensively this quarter at all.
And there goes Stevens to the hole, and
that was really easy.
That's an easy bucket, and that's the fear there, isn't it, Morgan, of Kalahifulu picking up her third foul, and so it's a real. It plays on your mind mentally when you're in that position of foul trouble.
It sure does. I mean, what do you do? I mean, she can't afford to foul, so she played soft defense on that possession, really.
Yep. And she gets a foul back on Stevens.
That's perhaps a rough call.
She may have taken a couple of steps. The basket counts, and they've called it on Tyler Mitchell. Very lucky.
There you go.
So maybe Mitchell reached in from behind.
And we see Kalahifulu go to her Eurostep move, and it's a really great move for an under-15 girl that size to have an agile Eurostep. And we're seeing the development of the game, really. And our girls' game's really doing well lately. You'd have to say from the last 5 to 10 years, the Tall Ferns, they beat Spain in Spain, the number 3 side in the world. Coach Kennedy Kiriyama's doing a great job there. And you see the under-16 girls, the last 2 years have got the best results ever at state champs in Australia, coached by Angela Parrott-Hunt. And Coach Jodie Cameron with the New Zealand under-17 girls last year really pushed Australia for 3 quarters, and Australia ended up winning that competition. They won the world champs. So, and we see that again, just what started the conversations, Jazz Kalahifulu's agile Eurostep in the fast break. Really great move and great rebound by Dominic Stevens.
Yeah, totally agree with you around the success of women's basketball within New Zealand. We see a lot of our young athletes too getting opportunities to go to the States as Hemi Ta'ala goes to the hole and challenges Kalahi Fulu and goes and lays it up over the top of her.
Yeah, tell you what, Sissy Kalahi Fulu's not an easy girl to push over, so really great hard drive there, nice and aggressive.
Yeah. As we see the inclusion of Acacia Parai into the game, number 9 for Waikato. A local, actually, from Porirua, the Parai family. So many family members out here today to support her and the Waikato team.
And the Parai names, it's quite a recognisable name, isn't it? And as a Waikato girls basketball.
Yeah. Well, she's had a number of sisters come through the ranks. You know, her older sisters have all represented both Waikato and their respective schools with 2 of her sisters winning a national title with Hamilton Girls and a couple of others winning national titles with Church College. So
no pressure then.
No pressure at all. No pressure at all. But hey, you know.
I mean, her opposite's quite the same. You see number 12, Jess Moores there. Yeah. Her older brother last week, as we see a foul on Emmy Shearer. Her older brother last week, James Moores, was in that Harbour under-17 team that we won national title, and he was the MVP. So now Jess has to come down here. No pressure to win an MVP and win a title yourself.
No pressure at all. And I'm sure there's some talk in the family dinners and in the plane or car ride home down here that there was a bit of pressure put on her to step up and win a title after her brother's success last week.
Exactly right. And the Moores family, I mean, we'll be hearing more from them in the future years. James is the oldest.
Yeah.
He's touching on 6'8". And Jess out there is touching on 5'11" as a guard, and they have 4 younger siblings themselves, a family of 6, and I tell you what, they're all just as tall and just as long and just as athletic as each other. I'm telling you, for the next 10 years, there'll be commentators sitting here saying the Moore's name on a live stream.
Oh, that's a good thing. We need height, we need athleticism, and we definitely need more basketballers out here participating in these national tournaments.
I mean, in our under-17s last week, we had the youngest of the Moores family, Money Matt Moores, as our mascot, and I'm sure we'll see him on this stage in 10 years' time. And we see a foul there on Waikato.
On Stevens, which I thought was a tough call.
It sure was, I thought.
I thought Jazz Kalahi Fulu travelled, got away with a walk there, but she goes to the line now with Waikato and team fouls.
Yeah, Walker Ekatone on 3, Stevens on 2, and there's their key players, and they are showing us that they can't afford to take them out.
And she hits.
She banks that in.
As most effective way of getting the basket in the hoop is hitting off the backboard, as Tim Duncan lived off a career of hitting off the backboard. As Jazz lines up for his second free throw.
Yeah, we see Emmy Shearer getting a break now. She's on 2 fouls. Jazz Kalahifulu and Jazz Kalahifulu and her sister Sissy Kalahifulu on 2 fouls as well.
Belcher takes a fall.
I thought a good no call from the refs there.
Yeah. Be interesting.
Kalahifulu bringing the ball up the floor, initiating the offense, and that's again really great.
Open for 3. Great rebound there from Stevens.
Yeah, that's what they need from Stevens.
Yeah.
Kalahifulu extending pressure. And we see the introduction of number 6, Rian Watene, for Harbour for the first time. And what do you think of that call, Caslow?
Yeah, it's a tough one, their interpretation of the charge foul.
Coach Wilkinson really not happy, and I'm not sure myself if the contact was chest to chest, but that's what the referees called, and back we go, Harbour ball and offense.
I personally think it's a tough call on Leaf. I thought she had good position. She was the aggressor going to the hoop.
We've seen Sissy Kalahifulu fall to the ground a couple times, 3 or 4 times almost now, but she gets rewarded for her. And we see the foul count: Waikato 5, Harbour 2 so far.
Yeah, I think some of those, some of the no calls down on this end, and if we're just looking at it from a spectator's perspective, I think it's a little bit unlucky, but you've got to play with who's in front of you, and the referees are a part of the who's in front of you, so you just carry on and play. Yeah,
that's right, and these teams are undefeated for a reason. The referees have never caused them to lose a game, and they never will. And so we have a timeout here from Coach Tyler Wilkinson as Harbour comes back to 2. So we're a really close game, 24-22 to Waikato.
Yeah, it's a good contest at the moment. Relatively scrappy, 24 points and almost 17 minutes of basketball is relatively low, but overall, defensively they're being strong. We haven't seen much prevalence of offensive rebounding on both sides. with Waikato coming in with 6, which averages 3 1/4, and wow, I mean, Harbour having 11 offensive rebounds through the first half. So Harbour getting the better of the offensive rebound battle. Obviously they should, with all their height, and Shearer and Moores both attacking the offensive board when they shoot. So Waikato are going to really need to try and clamp down and box out to ensure that they can get possession and limit North Harbour to just 1 shot. As Moores goes to the hole.
And that's it right there. Moores puts up a tough shot, but very confident they'll get their own offensive rebounds.
Watch some of these screens. These are some tough ball screens being set here by Kalai.
Yeah, there's another one.
Yeah, some tough ball screens.
And the key is she's really getting her feet set though.
Yeah.
And she really flattened a couple of Canterbury girls last night, put them on their backsides, and not sure what happened there. I guess the Waikato got the ball, and Kalai Fulu was tied up, and Waikato ball.
Yeah, the shot clock was running low, and so Sissy put up a last-minute shot. One of the things I've noticed, I've been noticed in this national championship down here, Morgan, is the improvement of screen setting by these young athletes. There's been some good screen setting, both on ball or ball screens, and also flare screens and away screens. There's been some good screens which effectively opens up your teammates. So it's a selfless act, but it's something obviously as a country we're getting a lot better at, and a lot better at coaching.
That's exactly right. I've been impressed as well with the amount of efficient offense that's been run in the boys and the girls section at the under-15 level. You know, typically it can very easily. We're talking about 12, 13, 14-year-old athletes be helter-skelter. You know, especially the boys relying on their raw athleticism that they've found as they're growing up. But we've seen a lot of organised basketball, a lot of offense. That's what we need as a country to develop.
Agreed.
And start competing on the international stage, especially since we'll be in the Asia zone starting from next year.
Yeah, which is a benefit for us as a country, but as Moores gets as Leith just takes the ball right out of Moore's hands as she gets her own offensive rebound. It's definitely a benefit going us into the Asia qualifying nation, giving us an opportunity to battle against those Asian countries.
It sure is, especially at the age group level. You know, we've always had to try and get past Australia, and we're getting closer and closer, but now we can just qualify in our own right, and we'll have generations of Tall Blacks and Tall Ferns coming through who have played in World Champs, and the country will be better for the experience. Moores with a wild mid-range shot.
Very lucky. It was good defense there, I thought, from Waikato. There was no way through, but
I mean, the poor shot selection, really.
Yeah, it was, but it goes in. It's not poor if it goes in, apparently what they say, but
oh, tough pass there. Hemi Tiala could not really handle that.
Yeah.
We see Sissy Kalahifulu just bring the ball down the floor, right into her older sister. Great defense, swarming defense from Hemi Tiala and Dominic Stevens. Another odd shot from Moores, but
Moores puts up another quick shot, and unorthodox, but it goes in. It doesn't matter how it goes up, it goes in, but it goes in as the scores are tied with a minute 30 to go.
That's what Harbour's been missing so far this game. Those little sort of dinkers and dumpers they sort of take have been rimming out, and I mean they make a lot of those in every game all year. And as we see a third foul on Jazz Kalahifulu, and Coach Nathan quickly calls number 14 Leilani Robertson to relieve her of her duties for the rest of the half.
Shearer comes back into the game too for
she'll be well rested.
Number 6 Watani.
As we see Waikato starting to get their rub of the green on foul calls as the foul count evens out now, and
both teams in shooting position, so that means every time there's a personal foul they get the shot. So Leith makes their first one. Waikato have shot relatively well, and this is for both teams. It just shows you the level of defensive pressure that both teams are under. Both teams scoring on an average, as I said at the start, of about 81, 82 points a game. So, you know, they're almost half that now. You know, halfway of this, at halftime of this game, only in the late 20s, early 30s, which is probably a testament to the defensive pressure that both teams are putting on each other.
Yeah, that's right. As we see Harbour in their half-court offense now, Moores at the top to Boucher. And Moore's trying to post up her smaller opposite.
Yeah, and a great...
And
it must have... No, yeah.
Yep, travel. And that was a good call and great defense from Hemi Tiala right there. Just predicts that spin move and
hands straight up in the air and just grabs the ball out of them, which was a good call from
I really like
Taylor.
the gutsiness of Moores there to try and post up.
Yeah, and it's a play at this age group, which is really, I mean, the fact that she's recognising that she has a mismatch, which you know, older athletes as Wilson gets the rebound.
Can never fault girls for being aggressive out on the court.
Yeah.
As we see Shearer, speaking of aggressive. Oh, and
what
a huge block.
Hemi Ta'ala.
Hemi Ta'ala is everywhere on defense right
She's
now.
doing an amazing job defensively to keep Waikato in the lead as she comes away with 2 blocks on 2 of Harbour's top players.
And Waikato almost didn't know what to do right there until they just threw it straight out of bounds. So Harbour does get the ball back. But what a block there on Emmy Shearer. It's not an easy to block.
It is not easy to block, and especially in that position when she's going down towards the basket on the transition. As Shearer goes, and another good defensive play from Waikato and a foul for Shearer.
Yeah, Shearer almost out of frustration. Just no one's done that to her all year long in under 15s basketball, just being able to stop her constantly on defense, and Waikato doing a great job on defense.
As they should be going to the line to shoot too with the referees. So
Shearer's on 3.
What a great play by Walker Ikatone, knowing she's on 3 fouls, risking her body and a chance to get her 4th in the second quarter, and then she gets a steal and then a foul and has an opportunity to go up by 3.
Exactly, and sayings are sayings for a reason, and offense wins games, but defense is winning championships right now. Hemi Ta'ala coming up with huge plays constantly, and Walker Ikatone just then with a huge play. And she converts it, puts her team up 3, 29-26.
Strong leadership there.
10.4 there, and Hemi Ta'ala unfortunately hits Boucher on the play, but they've had to stop play here.
There's been a stop and play, and the referees are talking to the bench on what's going to happen. But
bit of an issue with the clock.
But definitely, Hemi Ta'ala has turned this draw into a 3-point lead for Waikato with 2 amazing defensive plays for herself and for the Waikato team, and then coming down and Walker Ikatone stepping up and making a brave play of trying to steal it from Shearer.
Hemi Ta'ala she's been woken up. She's playing real aggressive defense right now, and almost hands right, really active.
And again, another turnover with 3 seconds to go. Another turnover and a foul.
Oh man, and rough calls, but I mean, you know, you do it to yourself and you have turnovers like that in scrappy play.
Yeah, scrappy play in Hemi Ta'ala.
That's a real coach killer. 1/10 of a second left and a foul's called to put Moores on the line for 2.
I mean, you'd rather her get a contested shot than a foul. I mean, the likelihood of her dropping these down will be pretty high from Moores. I mean,
there you go.
There's the mocker.
I mean, from a spectator's point of view, you would prefer that the ref probably didn't call that foul, the 10th of a second left. But there we go, Moores at the line again. That's the first time she's at the free throw line tonight.
And she misses both.
0 of 2 from the free throw line, and we have a half-time score of Waikato 29, Harbour 26.
It's been an interesting half, both starting 5 playing a lot of minutes, and both teams shooting a pretty poor percentage from the field. North Harbour shooting 35 and Waikato shooting 24, and no one making a 3-point shot yet in this game. So one of the big killers for North Harbour is they're actually getting to the free throw line, but they're 2 of 11, which is really is really tough. And Jazz Kalahi-Fulu is 1 for 5, which you know, in all honesty, is just not good enough to try and get them to the next level and to win this championship. Whereas Waikato have been sent to the line, and they're 13. They've only missed 4 shots. They've gone to the line 17 times. So you've got to convert when you're in a final every bucket you can. And as I was talking in our last game, free throws are really important, Morgan. I mean,
sure are.
Really important. They're a free shot. It's uncontested. The clock is stopped. You know, I always try and educate, and when I coach young children, is to practice free throws. You know, if you can be a consistent free throw shooter, it's free buckets.
It sure is. I mean, it just comes down to little things. There's free throws, you know, uncontested shots if there's a defensive breakdown, easy layups if there's a breakdown in D-trans, and all those little baskets along with second chance points, giving up easy O boards, they combine and they add up really fast. They can get in their 20s, and that's just easy baskets that teams give up, and that's how championships are won or lost.
They are.
And we'll see a lot more in the second half of this final of the 2016 Under-15 National Championships. And we'll take a quick break now. But for more information on the Under-15 National Champs, you can visit the Basketball New Zealand website, basketball.org.nz. And for up-to-date results, photos and tournament information, just check out the Basketball New Zealand Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter @BasketballNZ and hashtag us in your photos, #under15nats. I would just like to thank our broadcast partners NTech, as this is live streamed on the NZ Herald, and we'll be back in 3 minutes for the second half.
In 2017, Auckland is going to play host to one of the biggest sporting events ever to come to New Zealand, the World Masters Games.
Basketball is one of 28 sports. Referees and score bench officials are the cornerstone of our sport. In 2017, we're going to need everyone to make sure that this is a successful event.
The World Masters Games is an opportunity for officials to test themselves at a world-class event. Whether you're new or an existing official, sign up now to be involved.
This national under-15s final between Waikato women and North Harbour A women. Top scorers for that half were Walker Ekitone with 12 and Jazz Kalahi Fulu with 11. The only two scorers in double figures in the first half. Waikato out, up 3, 29-26 as we start the second half here at the ASB Stadium in Wellington at the National Under-15 Championships.
We see Waikato ball now to start this third quarter, and they'll be interesting to see what they come out in, as they have Walker Ekitone out there on 3 fouls, Dominic Stevens is out there, and likewise Harbour have their starters out there, 3 superstars for them.
Hemi Ta'ala starts off still on fire from the first half, and Keani Leith gets her hand to the ball and just about gets a steal, but Moores is able to get it into Sissy, and Sissy pulls it out and gets it to...
Oh, risky pass there.
Yeah, to Shearer.
And Waikato, I think, are finding a recipe for success right here, is that they're just putting extended pressure up. They're really forcing bad passes, and Harbour will throw bad passes if you force them to.
Oh, they got away with one there. Sure, it came off Keani Leith. So just a correction on the score. It's 31-26 to Waikato as we go into the second half. They go into that dribble handoff action as Walker Ekitone tries to split the screen again. And
great
gets
job. That's so nice.
That is a really nice shot and a long kiss off the glass and she goes up to 14 points for this game.
Really reminds me of watching Abby Cabillo. She's the Australian under-17 point guard, and she's only about 5'4", and she can do some stuff like that as well. And Walker Ekatone just doing a great job. You see Emmy Shearer with another hard drive, and she manages to draw the foul.
I wonder who the foul's going to be called on, and it's on. Oh, they put it on Hemi Ta'ala. So Shearer goes to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, really close game right now, and they need this. I mean, I talked yesterday in the girls' semi-finals about how important the start of the second half is in games. Like, say, if Waikato starts this first 5 minutes of the second half the strongest, they're looking at taking control of the game, a double-digit lead, and Harbour is in real trouble. Whereas if Harbour starts off strong here, all of a sudden momentum's on their side as they pick the game back, and it's really close.
Yeah, you're right there. Third quarter is always the killer, and I remember Australian teams would always come out hard in the third quarter and really close the game out, as Hemi Ta'ala looks to shoot a 3 and just a bit long on that one. And it's an important time too, because you're coming off a break, you know, it's almost like starting again, and if you can be strong and if you can make those buckets early, as Moores misses her layup going to the hole.
It's a real nervous time of the game, and I'll give a shout out right now to the North Harbour head coach at the start of the season, Claire McCurran, who can't be here. I'm sure she's really nervous at home. I know she's nervous at home watching on the live stream. And again, congratulations on the birth of your first child. But I know you want to be here. And
something's a bit more important, eh?
Our family for sure. And Coach Millie Nathan and Matt Lacey doing a great job in her absence with a great Euro step and an unfortunate miss there as Moores brings it down.
Yeah, I think Coach Nathan and Maddie Lacey have both done a great job as Moores comes down and hits a floater in the hole in the key, and puts Harbour closer, and Waikato up by 3. As Waikato look to get into their set now, rotating the ball, cut through, and then they're looking inside for Dominic Stevens, and then they reverse it to Letha. She looks to shoot a 3, long 3, and Moores, and this is really dangerous here. Walker Ekatone out on the break.
Yeah, Walker Ekatone can't afford to foul there.
And Boucher gets the layup.
Nice shot there.
As Walker Ekatone again looks to set her set up off the high post. They come off their dribble handoff up high as Hemi Ta'ala looks to squeeze a gap. There's no gap there, but she tries to find one.
As we see Jazz Klahifulu can't find a pass. And but she couldn't find a pass, and she looked to dribble herself, and that's something she can do. Bit of a risky pass there, maybe overestimating her teammates' athleticism.
What, the Boucher's not athletic? Of course. Dylan wouldn't like to hear that. So it's interesting here. They're looking for a 3 off that double screen pin down, and Ta'ala's just not finding her mark today. She's generally pretty consistent from the 3-point line, but both teams are struggling from outside.
As we see Shearer looking for another hard drive, she gets right around
Hemi Ta'ala.
Keeps her balance so nice. She hangs in there for quite a long time there, and just keeps her body balanced so nice, even though she's slightly twisted. And they're really looking for gaps that aren't there down the other end. Yeah,
they're trying to force their play down there, which is putting pressure on their transition defense, because a lot of their offensive shots are going against 1 or 2 and sometimes 3 defenders, which means that there's some people unmarked in transition. So as Shearer goes again to her left side, and
I'm sure that's something that you've just mentioned that Coach Wilkinson will want to correct as she's gone to the bench and asked for a timeout, just as Stevens picks up another foul. And so Stevens and Walker Ekatone on 3 fouls almost midway through the third quarter.
It's a tough one, really. They need to really remedy some of the offensive choices. They've had some good looks. Hemi Ta'ala's had a couple of open 3s, but overall their shot selection here in the third quarter has a lot to be left desired from the Waikato team.
Sure does, and Coach Nathan right now has got to be setting the message. First 4 minutes we've started off really well. We've won this first 4 minutes by 4, and if they keep it up, they can really look to take the ascendancy. And you would really prefer to be in a position to have a lead coming into the fourth than having to fight back and really chase a lead. Yeah,
it's tough. I mean, finals are finals. Everything's left on the line, and it's the last game of the season. So the least amount of pressure you can put on yourself, the better. So from a Harbour perspective, if they can go on with a lead, after being down for the majority of the second quarter, it'd be a good positive booster for them to try and close this game out.
Yeah, exactly right. And right now we see both teams in timeouts. They're really looking to find some answers, and both teams playing a really close game. And I'm sure if it stays like this, it'll be very intense towards the end, and it'll probably be that team that chases rebounds that much harder, dives on the ball that much faster, that ends up winning the game. You know, the team that just comes up with those hustle plays.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Morgan. And I mean, for me, I would hope that fouls don't play a part in the outcome of this game. You know, you want to see the best players on the floor for the majority of the time, and as long as they can play some smart defense, then they aren't putting themselves in a position to get fouls on them, then it's really important. 2
missed free throws there from Emmy Shearer, and Waikato doing exactly what they need to do, getting a D board and looking to push the pace against Harbour's lackluster trans D, but Harbour does a great job as Tyler Mitchell.
She finds some sort of gap through there.
I don't know how she got through there. That's just, and Waikato, I mean, they're just looking to penetrate nice and hard right now. Their shots aren't dropping for them, which they usually do, and Emmy Shearer doing the exact same thing down the other end, missing, but Kalahi Fulu gets her own rebound.
Yeah, she does. And
Shearer with a rebound, and finally the ball drops for Harbour, and that'll be the key to stopping Harbour, stopping their offensive rebounding ability. We saw Waikato get a defensive board before keeping Harbour to just 1 shot.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they need to do. Giving Harbour 3 shots, they're just too good. They're not going to miss 3 times in a row.
Tyler Mitchell takes an uncontested jump shot there. Belcher gets the rebound and pushes the ball up the court. Yeah, they need to limit those opportunities. You know, Stevens really needs a lot of hand as Mitchell gets caught for the foul, overreaching on Shearer. She tried to bring the ball up. You know, Stevens needs some help down there. She's battling away her hardest to maintain against the Jazz and Sissy, and it's too much for one person. She's doing a great job. It's just too much for her.
We saw this in the Taranaki semi-final that Waikato played in, where Taranaki also have 2 big bigs, Emily Poole and Raquel Sampson, and again Dominique Stevens, though that time was equal to the task with just really dominating them with 18 points, 20 rebounds.
As we see Shearer again going to the left end, laying it up with her right. Kaiani Leith getting beaten right off the dribble there.
Yeah, I mean, Jazz Kalahifulu is just a different beast to the other bigs in this tournament, and so we see Dominic Stevens struggle to drive on her, and Emmy Shearer with the steal, and Leith does a great job just poking it away, avoiding a fast break layup.
If I was Waikato right now, I'd probably look to step back from both Shearer and Moores and allow them to take the outside jumper. They haven't really proven anything from outside as of late. I'd give up the outside jumper to protect our paint, because right now, just like as we see Shearer take a shot from outside and they get the rebound.
She sure is listening to us. She's saying, no, I can shoot that shot, but I totally agree with you. That, and we saw Shearer and Moores shoot over 60% in the semi-final, and that's not because they're shooting dynamos, that's because every shot is from 3 meters away that they take, and I agree with you, they really need to look to force some outside shots as they did there, as we see a foul on Boucher, so Waikato will go to the line for 2 to try and put the game back within 1.
As Wilson lines up and hits her first free throw. It's just something that I think technically Coach Wilkinson might want to look at, is, you know, maybe taking a couple of steps back and reducing the penetration dribble as opposed to playing them aggressively up front when they get into their half-court set. As Shearer looks for a long pass to Moores, and Moores athletically is able to get there.
That happens a lot. Harbour throws poor passes, but the athleticism of their players gets them out of jail. As Kalahifulu misses one at the rim. Swarming defense from Waikato, and great box out there from Honor Wilson on Jazz Kalahifulu.
Leith needs to just pull it out, but she doesn't. Finds a gap and gets it in there. Wow, that's how you make me a liar, is you get in there and you make those tough shots, and she did an amazing job there by finding a gap and getting into that seam and making a really tough, consistent shot as Shearer drives herself wide down the middle. And Tyler Mitchell, and they're off to the races again as Mitchell gets the ball from Waikato.
And we're seeing a lot of scrappy play here, but
Leith
wide open. Harbour slow to react.
Yeah,
and they're away. Moores with the rebound, throws it up to Sissy. And a fast break layup for Sissy Kalahifulu, and Waikato's defensive trans, they need a better job there.
Well, when you take long shots, you're going to expect long rebounds. So these shooters, especially their point guards, need to be back on safety to ensure that they're not getting uncontested layups like Sissy just got there.
That's right, and all of Harbour's players, their big 3, have the ability to throw free throw line to free throw line passes.
Yep.
All very strong.
Walker Katone there makes a Tries to take a tough shot over the top.
Shearer saves it almost. That's
Kalahi Fulu.
not a great pass, but again, Jess Moore's athleticism helps
And
him as easy as you like.
Moores goes straight down the lane and just makes an easy bucket. It puts Harbour back up by 3.
Yeah, it was
3 minutes
interesting
to go.
there. I mean, Jess Moores was at halfway, and those Waikato players were just still as statues down there, never stepped up to help.
They
and
did not. They did not.
Moores was with an easy layup, and Kalahi Fulu with great defense, but a really smart dump-off pass from Mitchell. And again, we're seeing defensive rebound, and Emmy Shearer is off to the races
Shearer's
now.
off to the races.
Open court for Emmy Shearer, and oh wow, great block, but Emmy Shearer gets that in.
Waikato really need to probably slow it down now, get into their set, because they've hit it the panic
Oh,
button. Wilson gets wide open for a layup, just
That's
as
Harbour's
I say
transition D, isn't it?
that was poor transition D. I wasn't even in the transition. It was almost a half-court set there, and Kalahi Fulu just needed to get back a bit further, but there was no ball pressure either.
Defensive communication is poor for Harbour right now. It was a poor pass from Moores, but Kalahi Fulu with the strength, and she fumbles it out of bounds. She thought she was fouled, but just a poor pass, and I thought actually it was a good for the ref not to bail out the poor pass and the fumble.
Whenever you're fronting someone, you always got to give yourself an opportunity and make the pass difficult. Hence why you front, is to try and eliminate that entry pass from the wing into the post. So Mitchell was fronting the post there on Kalahi Fulu, and Moores tried to throw a bit of a low pass, but was just a tad short on that pass, and Tyler Mitchell got a hand to it, and then it went out of bounds.
So we're seeing Harbour back up in the advantage right now. Waikato got the lead back, and Harbour's got it back now. And
yeah, it's been a bit of an up and down quarter, this one, really, with Stevens on the bench sitting out. It's put a lot of pressure on top of the likes of Mitchell and Wilson to lift the load as far as the rebounding is concerned, and they've done an admirable job. It hasn't blown out too much.
yeah, and we're seeing just a really close game. Again, scrappy game, and these teams normally put up such big scores, as you've mentioned before, averaging scores in the 80s, and we're looking like we'll end up in the 60s, maybe the 70s.
Maybe, yeah.
But we're seeing defense really being the key. Defensive transition, especially for both teams. Harbour's it's not their strength, but if they can find a way to play good trans D, it's going to be real hard to find a weakness in their game. And Waikato, if they need to stop Moores and Shearer on that fast break.
Yeah, they do. North Harbour have 3 players in double figures at the moment, with Moores, Shearer, and Jazz Kalahi Fulu, which. And at the moment, there's only 1 from Waikato, which is it's not a bad thing, but they need more offensive production out of Dominic Stevens. She has 11 rebounds, but only 2 points, and she needs to get more, as you see Tyler Mitchell wide open, and she gets an easy bucket.
And Harbour need to do a much better job defensively. These are breakdowns you don't expect from a team in a national final.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, especially when you're trying to play a pressure type defense. And
a
nice move there.
It's a really nice step through, hey?
Jazz Kalahi Fulu, and she's putting up a double-double with 15 rebounds and 14 points. So Tyler Mitchell trying.
Great defense from Harbour. Just a great big wall, man.
Yep.
They really built a wall on that one, and no way through for Tyler Mitchell. Waikato get the ball back with 13 seconds left on the shot clock. Walker Katone trying to find space, and Mitchell with the jump shot. And Shearer
with a big rebound.
And they're out in transition. Shearer to Moores to Kalahi Fulu, and 1. And that is how Harbour will win this game if they keep that up. And that is how Waikato will lose the game, D-Trans.
It's huge. I mean, Waikato are really looking to make outside jumpers, and if they're going to shoot those outside jumpers, like I said before, they need to have someone back in safety. Either take the outside jumpers and eliminate your offensive rebounding aggression, coming back, ensuring that there's no transition buckets. Because of the abilities of Moores and Shearer and how they can see the court all the way down and like you said before, have the ability to throw those long passes, it's putting Waikato under pressure.
And so we see another offensive rebound there off a free throw, and that's a real coach killer that you're already set up in a really advantageous defensive rebounding position on that free throw lineup. And Moore's just, with her sheer athleticism, is all it is, really.
Oh, I mean, she was going up against Wilson, and no offense to Wilson, but she's not the tallest person in the world, and Moores is not only athletically gifted height-wise, but she's also very strong. So, you've got to make sure your technique's right when you're boxing out.
Right now, Waikato's had to put Tyler Mitchell back down on the bench. with 4 fouls. Walker Ikatone on 4 fouls with 11 minutes 22 to play in the grand final.
It's really tough as Harbour continue to struggle from the free throw line. They're shooting 27%, which is really poor. And I mean, if they were making their free throws, the lead would probably be extended past 10 points right now.
I mean, Harbour potentially have 3 of the best players in this tournament, but I mean, some of those basics like free throws and D-trans, they don't do too well. But when you can offensive rebound, you can just play out of your superstars like that. That's really hard to stop. I mean, Moores, Shearer, and Kalahi Fulu are just some of the best players we have in this age group in New Zealand. They are so good.
As Wilson goes to the hole and draws a foul against 2 considerably taller players, Shearer and Kalahi Fulu, and the foul has been called on Shearer.
And that's a really great drive and a great finish. What composure, and really brave as well.
Well, she is a brave girl, plays rugby league for her local rugby league club as well. So she's definitely not afraid of the contact there, Anna Wilson. As they Waikato extend that pressure out, and as Moores again with that unorthodox floating shot moving forward, makes a tough floater, and Leith again trying to find that.
Huge D from Kalahi, gets the block and then collects it and just flings a pass up court, and Moores again is out on the fast break, gets an easy pass to Barnard, gets her an offensive rebound, and Anna Wilson fouls her on that, and Waikato surely won't be able to win if they allow that fast break, that transition offense of Harbour to continue.
Yeah, I think Coach Wilkinson probably needs to look at her lineup somewhat and try and get some height out there. Wilson's been really good, and so is King and Leith, but they just need to probably get some bigger bodies out there to negate some of this offensive rebounding which is going on. And again, Moore's missing the layup. Sorry, the free throw. Harbour really shooting themselves in the foot by shooting a poor percentage from the free throw line. Gone to the line 18 times this game and only made 5 of them. So you see.
And so up eight now, Harbour, 53-45. And Waikato really going to need a score here. Another baseline drive by Anna Wilson. Tough shot again over someone much bigger than her. Jazz Clayford with the rebound. Throws it full court. Boucher just can't get the handle on it.
And she steps out.
Oh, man, that's huge break for Waikato there.
I thought it was going to be a layup, but Boucher was able to bring that ball in and could have really pushed it out beyond 8 points and gone up 10 and with the third quarter closing out now. And so let's hope that Waikato can really turn this around and get a bucket to kind of settle themselves down to go to the hole, as Stevens looks to go to the hole and misses, but they really need to, as Barnard goes out on her own, going down the left side of the lane. Good, nice, smart move, bringing it back to Moores. Moores into Kalahi Fulu, and there's the bucket.
And Waikato needs to do something to stem the flow, and Harbour have come out with a strong third quarter. And they were down 3 at halftime, weren't they?
They were.
Now that they've won this quarter by 13, and that's the first quarter that's been won by double digits, and that could be the story of the game, because if Waikato want to win a national championship, defend their title, they have to win this quarter by 11 or more.
They do. I mean, that was a 27-point quarter for the North Harbour team. So they scored 27 points in that quarter, and that is a lot of points to be putting up.
It sure is, especially in a national final. And we've said it before, defense is what wins the championships, and offense wins the games. And right now, Waikato, no defense in that quarter, giving up 27 points, and it's just off free throws, boards, and transition.
Yeah, they've got to find a way, really, for them to stem the flow of offensive rebounds that North Harbour are getting. It's not acceptable from a coaching perspective to really allow these offensive rebounds to get going. Offensively, Waikato too are really trying to force the action, really trying to find those seams. I mean, they've got a couple of tough shots down low, but overall, you know, the Jazz and Sissy Kalahi Fulu are really making it difficult for all of them to get into the lane and really push their claim down there offensively.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we've seen Harbour really take hold of this final, and Waikato has to do something. You see Coach Tyler Wilkinson really urging her players to come out with some fight and some desperation. And at the end of the day, though, crazier things have happened. It's still only a 10-point game.
Well, I mean, 10 points is 5 buckets if you put it in that, and that's not a lot.
Sure is.
That's not a lot. You can get 5 buckets in 2 minutes stretch or even a minute and a half stretch. So.
Exactly right. And we see runs like this, especially at this age group. We see runs like this all the time, and momentum is just huge.
Yeah.
And Waikato would like to generate some momentum at the start of this quarter, you'd think, though. I mean, they can't afford to be 5 minutes left still and at a double-digit margin.
Yeah, they need. I mean, Dominic Stevens is for Dominique Stevens has been an absolute beast on the boards for Waikato, but they need some offensive production out of her right now to help them. Walker Ekitone's on 14 points, and then Ta'ala's 7, Leith's on 7, and Tyler Mitchell's on 9. But Dominic's, had the ball 3 times, but taken 3 shots in 3 quarters, and that's a shot a quarter. That's not enough from Dominic. She's too valuable to this team to not be putting up bigger numbers than that.
Exactly right. And if Harbour ends up winning the national championship, that'll be something you look at. It's like that Jazz Kalahi fully managed to do her usual production, really, so far, you have to say. And Dominic Stevens has just been absent.
Yeah, and going back to your point you made earlier where, Shira Moores and Jazz Kalahi fully really dominate the ball for Harbour, and it's shown in their statistics, 2 on 17 and 1 on 15. So, and again, we get Moores going to the hole and making a relatively easy basket to start off the 4th quarter as Emi Ta'ala is wide open and gets
another easy
layup.
basket.
Yeah.
I mean, the first team to step up and play great defense here, generate some stops, is going to win this game. You see Waikato with some extended pressure, but their inbounder, Sissy Kalai, fully able to relieve that pressure easily. Poor pass, though, and they're getting away in transition against Boucher and Barnard, and that's a foul on Boucher, and that's poor defense from Boucher there. Just her hands weren't straight up. And nice aggressive drive from Leith, and these are some crucial free throws right now.
Yeah, she was there. She probably had enough time to get to where she needed to go, but unfortunately she calls a foul. And Leith at the free throw line for the 1. Well, they need to do something quick, and they need to do it now, Waikato, because if they continue down this path of just trading baskets, it's not going to turn it around anytime soon, as Leith puts in both to cut the lead now to 8. Extending that pressure, Hemi Ta'ala up on Boucher. Boucher's showing her competency with the basketball, taking the pressure off Moores and Shearer as Jazz gets the ball up, and that back screen is wide open again with just a 2 seconds
too late to recognize it. And Jess Moores knew she was wide open.
And Tyler Mitchell and finding another gap and getting in there and going right over the top of Jazz Kalahi Fulu. Leith is doing an amazing job of
just
getting
one
into
on
the
3.
gap. Yeah, she did. And she did a great job as Tyler. And that's a great no call.
And it's off the Waikato players in the end. And Sissy Kalai Fulu a little out of control.
It was a great no call there from the referee.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got some hecklers to our left. They should move. And Leith gets a turnover as Moores just bobbles the ball, and Leith goes up for the shot and makes it again.
I thought Moores might have fouled a little bit there, and Coach Nathan's forced to call a timeout.
Wow, I mean, we've asked for Waikato to turn around and lift the defensive intensity and pressure, and they have, and they've come out now and brought this 10-point lead back down to 4.
And you've got to look at the body language right now as we see a close-up of the Harbour bench. They look really dispirited and flat right now, and you really hope that they turn that around, because the mindset of a national championship final in the last 9 minutes is really important. It's going to be who's more aggressive and who wants it more, and they're going to need to recompose themselves now. So perhaps, looking at their body language, a good timeout for Coach Nathan just to reassure her players everything's okay.
Oh, a very strategic timeout from Coach Nathan as we see Coach Lacey in there giving the girls some instructions. It's an opportunity for them to regather themselves when you're using your timeouts in this position and just kind of settle everyone's nerves and say to them, hey, listen, there's still plenty of time to go. We were in the lead. Sometimes when you get put under pressure, you make a couple of turnovers, you start to think, oh, heck, we might be losing, but you're not. You're still in the lead. So keeping their heads up, being positive and moving forward is probably the best thing that you could say to a team that's under pressure now with 9 minutes away from the national championship.
Yeah, that's right. And I wonder what Coach Wilkinson said to her players coming out of that timeout, promoting more of the same, looking at full court. See Walker Ekitone on Boucher. And we see Leith out on Moores there, and Boucher there.
Oh, and yep, good pass.
Flicks it up to Moores, and Moores is now away, and good help defense. Oh, tough call, I thought.
Hemitiala probably needed to step probably an inch or two to her left, and then she would have probably got a chest-to-chest charge and call foul, because to be quite honest with you, we knew exactly what Moores was going to do. Yeah,
we knew she was just going to drive hard in a straight line, and she's going to get a layup or get a foul call. And she's going to go to the free throw line here to take 2 free throws. Harbour just continuing to be really poor from the free throw line.
I mean, it's
Jess Moore's now 1 of 5. And you have to say, though, even though they've missed a lot of free throws, they're getting the offensive rebounds off their own free throws a lot. So even the 2 points from the free throws go missing. They just get their own rebound and go straight back up with it. And we're seeing that right here from Kalahi Fulu.
And you see that again, and Barnard with an open shot, and she makes it. It's good when you're confident enough to take those shots. Of Leith again trying to find a seam.
Oh!
And he calls a charge.
What do you think of that call?
Yeah, I think that's hard done by her a bit for Leith. I thought she was being aggressive. She went to the side.
I think we saw a good no call down the other end earlier on the same sort of play.
We did. If we're being consistent on both ends, I feel like it probably would have been better left as a no call without even a foul being called. So.
But that's the way it goes, and
it is the way it goes.
You've got to live with that. They've still got a 6-point game with 8.5 minutes to go. And Moores with the ball now, just straight into an easy post entry pass to Fulu, and what a move.
That was a nice move. And
just rims out. That's really advanced footwork for a post player of her age, isn't it?
Yeah. And she especially for a big man wearing Curry 3s.
Yeah, she must not go on the internet much, but
so it's an opportunity now for Waikato to consolidate, and Walker Katone goes to
and poor defense
to her left hand and over the top of Boucher, and with Sissy coming towards her, and they've got to really stem that flow if they're going to continue. And as Mitchell runs straight into the back of Moores, and no foul is called. And there's that nice.
Oh, that is a very nice play there. Kalahi Fulu setting the screen for her younger sister, and her younger sister gives the ball straight back to her.
Leith again trying to find a way.
Good D, I thought, again, but this time not a charge call, this time a block call.
On Moores.
And Leith will get 2 free throws out of this drive, so staying aggressive, and that's looking to
it's going to be his second foul. And both Shearer and Walker Ikitone both playing with full fouls. If I was the coach of either team, I'd be looking definitely to run a play to try and get them under pressure. With Shearer off the court now, but especially from a Harbour perspective, trying to get Walker Katone into a position where she may have to sacrifice a foul. As Leith knocks down the first free throw.
Yeah, I would be getting Walker Ikatone's man to set that cross screen, because they often get a guard setting that cross screen for Jazz and seeing if they switch on her. You either get an open layup or you get Walker Ikatone fouling, and a poor pass there from Jazz Kalahi Fulu.
Again, Jazz Kalahi Fulu with that.
And her teammate Moores is just telling her, chill out.
Yeah, you don't need to rush it.
Probably also letting her know that Mackenzie Boucher isn't the same size as Emmy Shearer or Jess Moores, and you can't throw it that high to her.
Hemitiala.
Great shot from Hemitiala. We're looking at a 3-point game now with 7.5 minutes left.
Walker Katone then playing up on Boucher. She pushes the ball.
See, I do like this full court man-to-man that Waikato's playing. However, they need to not get beat long, because when they're getting beat long, all of a sudden it's the 3-on-3 transition down that other end.
And like I said in the start of the game, one of the cardinal sins, whenever you put any full court pressure on, is not letting a man behind you. As soon as someone gets behind you, your press is effectively broken. So
that's exactly right. And my Harbour team last week, we played full court man-to-man every game, all game, and getting beat long was the number one, as you said, the number one sin. Yeah, absolutely cannot.
Leith gets.
See, their jump shots really starting to fall now, Waikato. Yeah. Unfortunately, that one doesn't for them, and it's crucial next few baskets.
Oh, I thought that may have been a double dribble or even a travel.
Oh, it's a travel or a backcourt. It has to be something, but no whistles
call
from the referees.
As Jazz misses it, layup.
Oh, wow.
Sure, there was a foul there.
Man, Harbour's getting a lot of rub with the green right now, you have to say.
They call that foul.
And so Harbour get away with a potential backcourt, a potential travel, a potential reach-in. And then on the other end, Walker Katone with a tough call, and that's her 5th foul. And from a spectator's point of view, that's really tough to see a star player, as the stadium rightly applauds her, Quay Walker-Ekatone unfortunately fouled out of the game, and that's going to make a huge difference to Waikato's chances, isn't it?
Oh, that's a massive blow for Waikato. And I mean, no offence, Morgan, but I saw 3 or 4 definite fouls or violations there from North Harbour, backwater travel.
Yeah, no, there was definitely either a backwater or a travel there originally. That was definitely the case. And Dominique Stephens, it really looked like a reaching foul from Jazz Klahifulu there.
Yeah,
that
to get the ball
really
back.
should have been called. And being consistent right now, that was a tough foul on Walker-Ekatone as well. And the refs have to be aware that she's on 4 fouls, and she's a star player. And now the game is without one of the star players for 6.5 minutes.
We said it earlier, Morgan, that we don't want fouls to be a factor in this game, and we don't want people sitting down and be fouled out. We want to see the best players on the court at the time, and Walker-Ekatone is one of our best players in this final, and we want to see her play.
We sure do, and we see Harbour counter now, and they put Emi Shearer back on the floor. And what a swing just then. I mean, it should have been a backcourt. You know, they had 2 feet in the ball over halfway, and she put her foot back over that line, and it should have been Waikato's ball. But now it's Harbour's ball shooting 2 free throws. Emi Shearer's back in the game, and Walker-Ekatone's out of the game. And a huge swing, and we see Ekatone coming in an embrace with her coach. And she's very upset.
Very emotional at this time, as you can imagine. This has been 7 months of hard work, and 7 months of hard work, and to be pulled out of the game with 6 minutes to go in the national championship game, it's got to be gut-wrenching for her.
Absolutely, but her job right now, and her job's just to lead from the bench. She has to get her troops going. She has to make sure her bench isn't down. And because Waikato's body language has dropped now, and so you'd have to say Harbour's got the momentum. But no, the tough drive from Leith. And they're tied up there. Great call from the ref. A jump ball, and Waikato will get the ball back.
Leith is really going at it, and as we see, the replacement for Walker-Ekatone is Reese Anderson.
And is that her first time in the game, Reese Anderson?
This is her first time into the game, Reese Anderson. So put her into the cauldron right from the get-go is a tough call for her.
It is, and she's a very small player as well.
She is a very small player, but very accomplished and very able.
Oh, that's a great drive, and just so unlucky on that finish. And she's going to get another chance to put it up.
And she makes the bucket.
So these next few buckets are really important. If Harbour scores the next 3 points, they're all of a sudden up 8.
Yeah,
but
they are.
Waikato can really get the lead back, and she's everywhere.
Gets her hands into it, and Anderson is there.
That's a great play, and she's come into a national final in the first line. I don't believe she played in the semi-final either.
More than likely she didn't. So she's coming in straight cold. But she's more than capable of playing up against...
drives right on her, and unconventional sort of floaty.
She gets a real
big shot, but
her body goes one way, her shot goes the other, and
Moores just has body control and athleticism on her side, doesn't
Jazz
she?
gets called for the foul,
and that's her 3rd foul, and Harbour and both teams on 3 team fouls right now. So we're
5.5 minutes to go. It's still anybody's ball game with Harbour up 4 points. With Waikato inbounding the ball to Reese Anderson.
It's really interesting. Looking at the bench, there's a lot of quiet and girls sitting back, stone-faced. You'd expect to see a lot of cheering, a lot of towel waving, and some momentum being created, because at this level especially, momentum can get
Anderson
created.
goes to the hole.
Oh, man, so brave. And she needs to make that. She needs to make
Stephens
that.
really needs to get herself going offensively, and
Mackenzie Boucher sitting a transition screen on Stephens. That's really brave of Mackenzie Boucher, and
she's learnt that from her mother, not her father. So it's a good opportunity here for Anderson and to stake her claim in a national final. Sorry about that, Dill.
It sure is, and he's definitely not sorry about that, is he? Moore's back to Shearer, and Shearer rejects the screen, but a nice roll from Klahifulu, and so tough. Almost gets that and one play.
She's really, really good at setting those screens and diving directly to the hoop. It's just really good footwork. She doesn't do anything extra. She just turns her hips, turns her body, goes straight to the hoop, and is really effective in that area.
Harbour's really good at Emi rejected that screen, and you're right. Jazz just worked right with her and rolled nicely, and that's really, really good basketball. Those big 3 for Harbour work so well together in that.
And she goes off the backboard.
She banks it in. Can't say whether that's intentional, but she's now 2 of 9 from the free throw line.
And that's the 2nd player fouled out from a Waikato team. Tyler Mitchell has been fouled out as well, and she goes to the bench, and Anna Wilson replaces her.
It's really unfortunate. They've lost a lot of size right now. They're a real small unit out there with Anna Wilson and Reese Anderson on right now.
Yeah, the foul count is
sitting on the bench still. You know, we've got Ngatai, who's got some size to her. She's quite good when she came on. And ooh, tough. I mean, she drove 1-on-2, and sometimes you don't always get the call driving 1-on-2.
You don't call.
But Waikato get the ball back.
And we see Harbour with a +6 foul count throughout the game. So there's been 6 more fouls called on Waikato than they have on Harbour. As Hemitiala makes the shot, and that is long.
And Moores catches that rebound, just flings a pass.
There's that strength.
And Jazz Clay-Fulu and Stevens doesn't want to foul, and that's a layup. And right now, as we've said, those next few baskets were so important.
Yep.
And Harbour now up 7, and they've really got firm control on the national final right now. And again, another air ball. And I think Waikato need to look at their lineup right now. They're very small.
Yeah, it's probably a bit of a rush shot from Leith. She's been aggressive and been forcing the action offensively, but she needs to just probably look at using some of her teammates a bit more. And Stevens as Chaz just bulldozes her way into for a layup there, and there's just no combating that strength and size.
No, and you have to say Harbour possibly with one hand on the trophy right now. The way they're playing, momentum, and up 9 with 4 minutes left.
Yep, and as Reece Anderson takes the shot
and Jazz Kalahi-Fulu can't get that rebound.
Look, it's not looking good for Waikato right now coming into the closing stages. I mean, it's only a 9-point lead, but they're just really struggling to get the ball in the
shot from Hemitiala, and Jess Moores with another rebound, and she's out and running in transition. This is very dangerous. And Boucher with the shot.
And just a bit long.
Stevens, an important rebound there. Oh, and she stripped, and that was a clean strip from Moores, but off Robertson, and Stevens needs to be strong with the ball.
She does. Stevens is just a high achiever in everything she does. She's a grade A student at Hamilton Girls High School, looking to complete and is fluent speaker in Russian and English. So some of the things that she does, she needs to bring her excellence level up with holding the ball, because she can do it. She knows how to. Is there a foul call?
Yeah, Jazz Clahi-Fulu with a foul there on Honor Wilson's drive, and she is now sitting on 4 fouls.
Well, the game could swing if Jazz gets her 5th and Sherry gets her 5th. It could swing.
Yeah,
but
it's a huge free throw. I mean, they really need to keep it probably within 6.
Yep.
At least have that shot. You don't want to be down 10 with 2 minutes to go.
No, it's a tough clawback from there, but nothing's impossible as Wilson makes both of her free throws, and they go into a full court pressure again as Anderson gets up on.
And Boucher beats Anderson. Very easy carry ball. Huge call.
First time I've seen that called today in this finals day, and it's a tough call to be calling that now. And
she used that carry to get around the defense. And
as Leith goes to the hole, and it's a foul.
That looked like a foul.
She got slaughtered.
Damn. And
wow.
Jazz Clay-Fulu bring the ball
as
up the
Leith
floor.
goes and gets it.
And she stepped on the line, unfortunately, and there's been a shot clock reset, and that shouldn't have been the case, but Harbour will have 24 on the clock unless the refs or Coach Wilkinson points that out.
Yeah, they should only have 14.
And they have a full 24 to play with right now. You have to say, if you're Harbour,
you're getting the rub of the green in both ways, and so
Jazz Clay-Fulu inside, and that looked very clean from here.
I'm sorry, Morgan, I'm struggling to hold my tongue at the moment because some of these calls I'm a bit bewildered to what's going on down there.
I really can't disagree with you, to be honest. I mean, Dominic Stevens on her 4th now, and that was a very tough call considering what happened just down the other end on Waikato's drive there. Unfortunately, but I mean, it's how the game goes sometimes.
It is how the game goes sometimes. We can't help but commend our referees. They've done a great job this tournament and all tournaments that they participate in. They're out there learning as well as these players are, so it's a good opportunity for them to be put under
it's just another step on the pathway for the referees.
As she misses a second, and Honor Wilson gets that strong rebound.
Yeah, there's a good foul call. I mean, Robertson doesn't need to reach like that.
And they're both in the shooting.
And it's a really bad foul, because now 7-point game after Harbour missed their free throws. Surprise story there.
Yep.
Waikato get to walk the length of the floor.
Yep. I tell you, Morgan, if Harbour were hitting their free throws, it'd be a different ball game.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, 7 of 27 from the free throw line.
20 missed free throws.
Wow.
That's a huge amount of missed free throws.
20 points left on the floor at the free throw line. We see Honor Wilson leave some points there too.
Yeah.
Waikato shooting better from the free throw line. 20 of 27 now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's excellent.
It is excellent, and Honor Wilson makes his second free
We're
throw.
looking at a 6-point game now with 3.5 left.
There's plenty of time. There's a lot of time left on the clock.
Emi Shearer and Jazz Kalahi.
And Leaf gets a beautiful steal.
Oh, it's just landed out of
Yeah,
bounds.
just touched the line
But
there.
there shouldn't be a reset there, and again, it's reset to 24.
The clock, and if the coaches aren't noticing it, then they can keep changing. Then they don't have to change it, and there is a the ball tipped out of bounds.
And
the bench is really doing a poor job of resetting the clock.
I
there.
mean, the coach Wilkinson is saying something to them, but the refs really need to also look at the game clock and the shot clock.
Yeah, the referees need to take control of this game right now because Harbour are getting a couple of resets when they shouldn't have. And
Robertson on the floor for it, but that's a difference right there. Robertson on the floor, Waikato just trying to pick it up. Moores with that unconventional floater, gets her own rebound, and that looks like it was off.
I thought that was off Moores.
And Coach Wilkinson's not happy with that call. But
definitely playing a part in the outcome of this game, but there's still 6 points in it, and 3 minutes is an eternity in basketball terms.
It is an eternity, and the sideline play is just a straight post entry into Jazz on the low block. So patient in that low block. 3 seconds. I mean, but from a developmental point of view, really patient in that low block just then.
I agree.
And really nice footwork. She was on the key too long there, though. And this is a crucial possession for Waikato.
Yep, they could cut the lead to 3 or cut it down to 4.
Entering the last 2 minutes, you really want to be able to score here.
Ta'ala is their best shooter. And she leaves it short again. She's not shooting well today. And Waikato
Dominic's
get
down
on
the ground, and that's a good call, jump ball, and Waikato ball. And they've got 8 seconds left on the shot clock. That shouldn't have been a reset because it's still Waikato ball, but they do have 14 seconds on the shot clock now. No one's pointed that out either, and Reese Anderson's wide open under the hoop.
And she gets
and
the
she
bucket.
Managed to get it. That's a huge play. 2.5 minutes left. 69-65. Harbour with the advantage.
Reese Anderson stepping up.
Just a reminder, we have Jazz Kalaifulu and Emi Shearer on 4 fouls and Dominique Stevens on 4 fouls for Waikato. Crucial superstars, and that could change the game. We see the Harbour's pick and roll play. Kalaifulu sets a screen on no one. Great defense. That's unfortunate. And Waikato are distraught at that foul call, and Stevens has been fouled out of the game with 2 minutes 18 left. And Waikato are left looking down their bench at some players who haven't played a lot of minutes this tournament. Reese Anderson, and now they're going to put
Ngatai into the game.
Ngatai's going to come
strong. She got some early minutes in the first quarter in this game, so she's really going to have to step up against the premier big person.
Waikato's going to be left ruining some of those easy transition layups and easy board opportunities they gave to Harbour. Because without those, they could be up right now.
They could be, as Shearer continues.
Even with those players fouled out, you could be up 6 right now.
You could be.
And so, as much as the ref calls have been a bit harsh to Waikato, they have to really look at.
Oh, look, you can only control what you can control at the moment.
Exactly right.
And what's in front of them is what's in front of them.
We can only say from an objective point of view what we're looking at.
Exactly.
And it's again a really important possession for Waikato. Really in a 5-point game right now. It's a tough
and trying to go against Kalaifulu, which seems to be a mismatch on both sides of the floor. And
Emi Shearer gets it over halfway, and with under 2 minutes left now, a tough pass, and luckily a bit of a deflection there. And
unsure about that pass, to be honest with you there, Morgan. I'm not sure why she would have thrown that pass.
Last 2 minutes of the final will do some things to you. Ngatai's trying to do a great job on Kalaifulu right now, but Kalaifulu gets it on the top, isolated.
There's that back screen. She's wide open.
And Emi Shearer for 3. Yeah. That would have been a dagger if that went in.
That would have been. But, I mean, like I said earlier, they've got to lead
and Moores, that's just raw athleticism.
That is.
And she jumped out of the gym to get that.
That's a tough turnover for Waikato. They're not going to be able to close this game out and get it.
And Harbour's going to want to look to use the clock. And
there's another foul.
Probably a foul there. Yeah, good call from Honor Wilson. And to be honest, you'd probably say it's a good call to put them on the line rather than give up that layup shooting 20 in the 20s.
Yeah, shooting low 20s or mid 20s in the free throw line. So, there's still plenty of time. 1:25. I would say Harbour have one
huge
hand
free
on
throws right here.
Yeah, one hand on the trophy at the moment. But Waikato, even with their diminished roster, they probably still have a chance to make a couple of shots and knock it down, and then move into the next, hopefully as close as they can, going into those pressure last 30 seconds of a game.
Yeah, that's right. And Coach Wilkinson now has called her final timeout, I believe. And Waikato will have no more timeouts for the rest of the game. They need to grab the defensive rebound if there's a miss on this free throw, and they They probably need to score on the next possession.
Yep.
They probably can't afford to be getting the ball back with 40 seconds to go, still down 5 or more.
Yep.
And so this is a real crucial play, and so she's rightly called a timeout, looking to draw something out, get some really good offense out of this possession.
Well, it's really important from a a competitor's perspective to be able to know and have confidence that you're going to make a shot, that you're going to compete, and you're going to be down there. So from a Waikato perspective, their main focus right now is just getting the defensive rebound. That's all they can focus on. Then we take the first step and then move on to the next. But right now it's just getting that defensive rebound, and then we can go from there.
Been a really great final so far, though. I mean, the biggest lead we've seen, I remember, is 10.
Yeah.
We've been in single digits the whole match. It's been really competitive.
Yeah, it has been. It's been a good display of New Zealand basketball here. And again,
Another missed free throw.
Struggling from the free throw line. And it's been a wonderful, to see these young athletes be out there representing their regions and displaying the sport that we all love.
I have to say, some of them, they'll probably be playing together next year. New Zealand under-16 selection. I mean, you got to say, Jazz Kalahi-Fulu, Emi Shearer, Jess Moores, Quay Walker, Ekatoni, Dominique Stevens.
Yes.
Like, these are some real talented athletes, and these are the 2 best teams and the most talented athletes. And a great play from Coach Wilson.
And she makes
and
it.
A huge shot.
Wow.
Coach Wilkinson
drew that up nicely.
Doing work in the timeout, and they're having trouble getting that in.
And she steps in. That should be a turnover. Wow. Her foot stepped clearly into the court. The referee missed it. She crossed the plane.
And that was almost 5 seconds. Waikato doing a fantastic job, and Harbour looking to call a timeout. Yeah, Harbour had a timeout there, so...
Wow, I thought that there should have been a line violation there from Jazz Kalahi-Fulu as she stepped in bounds, and they get the ball ahead to Moores.
The ball in now, and a travel. Travel call against Jess Moores.
That may have been a makeup?
I think it might have had to have been. I mean, that's just how the rub of the green goes, and it evens itself out in the end. We see the foul count is even this quarter.
Yeah.
Both teams in the bonus. Huge possession now for Waikato.
And Hemitiala.
And the same play. Hemitiala and off Jess Kalahi-Fulu there. And the crowd is really into the game right now. It's a 3-point game, and they ran the exact same play. I don't even know if Wilkinson wanted them to. Do they realize they have a minute left?
They do. They don't need to close it out now.
They can score it too, and just play defense. And Jess Moores, her hands are everywhere. Her wingspan and athleticism.
It's really impressive from an under 15 perspective.
I mean, Reese Anderson's having trouble getting open against her, but they do get the ball in. And very disrupted, and they really just want to close down and get.
As Anderson gets in,
and they really want.
And that's a foul on a 3-point shot.
Wow!
As Ellis fouls out too,
and Emi
Shearer fouls
has
out.
Just fouled out of the game on that play, and fouling a 3-point shooter is an absolute cardinal sin. You're right, it is. It really is, and I have to say, though, the Waikato girls, do they realise there's a minute left?
I don't know what they're doing, throwing up shots.
They've got open shots in the key, and they're dribbling out to the 3-point line to go and run it there. And
you know what? That's what pressure does to people, Morgan.
It sure does. Yeah. And, I mean, Wilkinson has no more timeouts to talk to her players about that. So hopefully she's getting a message across now. And we see number 4, Simone Barnard, has entered the game for the fouled-out Emi Shearer, who is just dejected on the bench right now.
That's a tough.
I mean, she did foul that shooter, and Hemitiala at the line really well.
Comes down and mits that 3, which gets them within 3. Now she has a chance to tie the ball game up with only 44.9 seconds to go in the game.
And so Waikato's out of timeouts.
And she hits it clean.
Waikato's out of timeouts. Harbour has one timeout left
remaining.
45 seconds left in the game. Will they look to use that timeout now, or will they look to hold it?
I would hold it if I was her.
I would hold it if I was them as well.
Yeah.
And they are looking to hold it. Full court pressure.
And as Sissy's pushing the ball, Moores is just going to go.
Moores is just going to go.
And so there might have been travel.
Flicks off a shot, but Kalahi-Fulu on the rebound and the foul. And
Moores may have got away with the travel there, but that was a great offensive rebound by Kalahi-Fulu, staying in the game.
The coach is just letting Jess Moores know, you must chill out. You do not need to end the game straight away. It's the message that all the players need to hear right now as Coach Wilkinson's talking elite there. And you see the crowd's really jumped on Waikato's side. They're really trying to put Jazz Kalahi-Fulu off on the line. Crowd is making a whole bunch of noise on this free throw attempt. As Jazz is taking an age.
There is supposed to be a 7-second limit on a free throw, just so you know. And the FIBA rules, there is a
I mean, I would hate to see that called in this situation. And would you trust in this situation, even in a tie game, if you're Waikato, would you foul Harbour to put them on the free throw line just to get the ball back?
It's an option. It's an option. And Jazz is, I mean, she is 2 for 12 from the free throw line. So
Harbour is shooting 28% from the free throw line.
No, so
and this is a huge free throw and the biggest pressure of the game. 2 of 12, did
big
you
moments
say?
make big players here, Morgan. And it's a big moment, and she makes it.
And she banks it in, and Waikato's out of timeouts.
Plenty of time.
They've got plenty of time. They just need to be under control here,
of time,
not panic. And who's going to take the shot? And it's a foul.
That is a foul, and Anna Wilson gets a ball.
Mackenzie Boucher cannot believe it. She's pulling that Boucher face. Me? I fouled?
Mackenzie.
But she clearly hacked her right across the arm in a great foul call. And Anna Wilson down one.
Down one with 2 shots.
2 shots to try and take the lead.
You definitely called the timeout now if I was Coach Nathan.
Yeah, you definitely, and that's huge.
Yeah,
and so Harbour will get the ball back with a timeout, down 1 or tied. And this is a huge moment for Anna Wilson.
Big moments, big players, Morgan.
And she's a big moment player. Waikato take the lead, 73-72, and Harbour use their final timeout. So we're going to see 25 seconds of uninterrupted basketball right now. No timeouts left.
Yep.
These 13 and 14-year-old athletes left to their own devices in the biggest pressure cooker cauldron they've ever been in their lives so far. We're about to see something special, I think.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for the coaches, especially Coach Nathan and Coach Lacey, to draw up a play. They should, in my opinion, if I was them, go for a quick shot here or an earlier shot so if they do miss, they have an opportunity to get an offensive rebound.
You know, you probably want to, about 14 seconds.
14 seconds, I agree.
And you have an opportunity. I mean, you have to say with Dominique Stevens out, surely the ball goes to Jazz Kalahi-Fulu here.
Well, why wouldn't you? I mean, she's
11 of 17 from the field, 65%. She's their leading scorer, 25 points. And you know what? She's got 8 boards as well.
The question then is, if they go into, do you foul straight away?
I mean, you have to just play defense. Surely, I mean, you're up 1, but I mean, it's a real question just given how poor Harbour's been from the free throw line. But
do you foul straight away and send Jazz Kalahi to the line, knowing that she's 3 for 13 from the free throw line? I mean, do you foul her straight away and send her 2, or do you let her play straight up and go to the hoop?
Coach Wilkinson, be interesting to see what she instructs her players. I mean, I would front Jazz Kalahi-Fulu. Just don't make it a lob pass.
Yep.
You know, Harbour's not strong with their passes. The biggest thing for them is as soon as a shot goes up, Waikato has to box out.
They do.
Because tell you what, Emmy Shearer, even though she's off 4-0 boards, Jess Moore's 7-0 boards, Jazz 8-0 boards.
Yep. So here's the pressure moment. So they're getting Mackenzie. Mackenzie gets the ball into Moores and they go straight into Kalahi-Fulu.
And she's fouled.
And
it wasn't an intentional foul, and she almost got an and 1.
She almost got an and 1. That's plenty of time.
But right now, what we're about to see is uninterrupted basketball.
Yes.
Neither team has a timeout. 20.9 seconds. Jazz Kalahi-Fulu, she's 3 of 14.
3 of 14.
21% free throw shooter is going to the line. I mean, you can't be unhappy with that if you're Coach Wilkinson. And Jazz Kalahi-Fulu, her 3 free throws she's made, she's all banked them.
So she should go back there.
So is she going to bank these free throws? And she banks it in.
She banks it in, and she makes the first one. She makes the first one. Big moments, big players.
She's 4 of 15 from the free throw line, and she's banked all 4 in. Highly unusual, but if it gets you a championship, who's complaining?
Well, it doesn't really matter how it goes in, Morgan, as long as it goes in. And like I said before, big moments, big players. And will she step up and make this big shot?
And the crowd, there's some boos and some noise here, and she's banked it in.
She banks it in.
That's huge. No timeout.
Waikato going to the... What are they doing? Why is the ref stopping the clock? There's no timeout, and the referee's not...
The referees just assumed they wanted a timeout. No idea that there were no timeouts left.
No timeouts remaining. You need to be aware of that. That could have definitely stopped the progression of the Waikato offense bringing the ball up the court. So Reese Anderson looks to get the ball up to Leith. Leith is looking for the gap in that seam, and she gets through. And it missed the ball. And Ta'ala.
And Jess just throws it up court. A really heady play. Yeah. They got a foul.
Missed shot. Kalahi Fulu.
Clock stops, 1.7 seconds left.
Fulu.
3-point shot.
3-point shot. She needs
And there
it.
goes the buzzer.
There it is.
That's it. North
it's all
Harbour
over. North
are your
Harbour.
2016 under-15 national champions, and they are ecstatic. The Waikato girls in tears, but what a great final, Caslow. What a great final.
Oh, look, it was exciting to say the least, Morgan. They left it all out there on the floor, back and forth, back and forth. Waikato fighting back toward the end stages of the game to get themselves within a point to win. And then Harbour, Jazz Kalahi Fulu stepping up, being the big player that she is, closing the game out with 2 free throws and the final bucket in the end to close out an awesome national championship. Congratulations to North Harbour Basketball and these under-15 girls for their national title.
Sure is. I mean, look at that. Jazz Kalahi Fulu, 27 points, 24 rebounds, couple of blocks in there as well, gets the game-winning free throws, and you have to say, what a player, what an athlete.
Well,
great job there.
Yeah, she definitely goes down in my book as being probably one of the most outstanding players in this tournament.
I think she would be the favourite for MVP, you'd have to say. I mean, she was the difference maker, especially when you look at what she managed to do to Dominique Stevens in that game.
Oh, definitely.
She ended up with 2 points.
Yeah, Dominique was I mean, she held herself down. She got 16 rebounds and 4 of those offensively, but overall, Waikato just didn't have it in the end of the day, closing it out, and unfortunately fouls played a part in the outcome of the game, but the better team won tonight, this afternoon,
There it
Morgan.
is, 76 North Harbour, 73 Waikato. That's your final score. And this has been a great game, and this is we're hoping for another great final next. The boys' final will be coming up next between North Harbour and Wellington here in Wellington, and this has been a fantastic tournament hosted by the Wellington Basketball Association. And we'd just like to thank broadcast partners NTEC, and this has been live streamed on the NZ Herald. And for all other placing results today, you can go to the Basketball New Zealand website, basketball.org.nz, and for up-to-date tournament information and photos, check out the Basketball New Zealand Facebook page, Basketball New Zealand Twitter @BasketballNZ, and make sure you tag us in the photos, #under15nats, and there you have it, North Harbour 2016 under-15 National Girls Champions, and we'll see you for the boys final.